RRR is a fictionalized epic rooted in pre-independence India, blending action, drama, brotherhood, and patriotism. It follows the imagined journey of two legendary freedom fighters, Komaram Bheem and Alluri Raju, whose real-life stories never crossed paths in history. Yet, director Rajamouli crafts an emotionally charged what-if scenario, setting them on a shared mission against British colonial rule. The story begins in the 1920s when a young tribal girl named Malli is kidnapped by British Governor Scott Buxton and his cruel wife Catherine, taken from the Gond tribe in Andhra Pradesh. To rescue her, Bheem, a gentle but powerful protector of his people, travels undercover to Delhi. Known for his brute strength and loyalty, Bheem disguises himself as a mechanic named Akhtar and waits for the right moment to strike. That on the other side is Alluri Raju, an ambitious and intense officer in the British Indian Police. But unlike what he appears to be, Raju is secretly a freedom fighter infiltrating the British ranks to gather weapons for the revolution. He is intelligent, deadly in combat, and driven by a promise made to his late father. Fate brings Bheem and Raju together in a spectacular sequence where they jointly save a boy from a burning train. Despite not knowing each other's true identities, they form a deep and honest friendship, one founded on mutual respect and shared courage. Their bond is captured in exhilarating song and dance, nadu, training montages, and emotional exchanges, but the alliance starts to unravel when Raju is tasked with capturing the mysterious rebel Akhtar, unaware that it's Bheem. Meanwhile, Bheem confides in Raju about his mission to rescue Malli. Torn between duty and friendship, Raju is forced into a devastating moral conflict. Eventually, Raju reveals his true identity to Bheem in a dramatic confrontation. Still, the truth comes too late. Raju captures Bheem to protect his own secret mission. Bheem is tortured and publicly humiliated. However, the emotional betrayal pushes Raju into crisis, especially after Bheem refuses to betray him even in pain. Realizing the extent of British cruelty, Bheem escapes with the help of Raju's fiancée Sita, who reveals Raju's true mission. Bheem, moved and guilt-ridden, resolves to save Raju, now imprisoned and near death for defying the British. An action-packed final act, Bheem rescues Raju in a fierce battle, and together, they unleash their wrath on the British forces. In an electrifying climax, the two heroes, with Raju finally armed with the weapons he long sought, destroy Governor Scott and liberate Malli and many others. The film ends with Raju fulfilling his promise to his father and distributing weapons to the people. Bheem returns to his tribe with Malli, and both heroes go their separate ways, but with eternal gratitude and brotherhood between them. Directed by Rajamouli, starring Ram Charan, N.T. Rama Rao Jr., Alia Bhatt, Ajay Devgan, Ray Stevenson, Olivia Morris *, historical context *, set in 1920s British India. RRR reimagines history with fictionalized accounts of two real-life Indian freedom fighters, Komaram Bheem and Alluri Raju. The movie does not portray actual events, but offers a thrilling what-if scenario that fuses historical fiction with intense action, brotherhood, sacrifice, and patriotism. The British Raj rules India with an iron grip, exploiting both land and people. In a small tribal village in Adilabad, the young daughter of a Gond tribal leader is kidnapped by British officers under the pretext of employment for Lady Scott, the cruel wife of the British governor. This single act sets into motion a massive tale of vengeance, revolution, and sacrifice. Act 2. Komaram Bheem's mission. Komaram Bheem, a guardian of the Gond tribe, is deeply hurt by the abduction of the little girl, Malli. Determined to rescue her, he embarks on a covert mission to Delhi, posing as Akhtar, a humble Muslim mechanic. Accompanied by loyal allies, including Raju, Bheem operates from the shadows, searching for Malli and planning a daring rescue from the governor's palace. Despite his innocent appearance, Bheem is a formidable force. A man of the people and protector of the forest, his heart beats for justice. His journey to Delhi is not just to retrieve a girl. It's a symbolic stand against the colonial system that sees Indian lives as expendable. Act 3. Alluri Raju's loyalty and secret on the other side. Alluri Sitarama Raju, a fierce British police officer, is seen as a loyal servant of the empire. Intelligent, cunning, and highly skilled, Raju seems obsessed with gaining promotions by capturing revolutionaries. But there's more to Raju than meets the eye, unbeknownst to the British. Raju is an undercover freedom fighter working on a long-term plan to infiltrate the British system. His mission is to secure access to arms and use them to arm the Indian Revolution. Haunted by a vow to his martyred father, he has sacrificed his identity, integrity, and even his emotions for the greater good. Act 4. Fateful encounter, brothers. In Bond, fate brings Bheem and Raju together under unusual circumstances. When a boy is trapped under a burning train bridge, the two men perform a spectacular rescue, working in perfect synchronization despite being strangers. This marks the beginning of a powerful friendship. The two grow close, unaware of each other's true identities. Raju doesn't know that Bheem is the tribal terrorist he has been ordered to capture. Bheem is equally unaware that his friend is an undercover British officer. Their brotherhood becomes the emotional core of the film. Powerful, passionate, and tragically ironic. Act 5. Love, disguise, and internal conflict. Bheem falls in love with Jennifer, a kind-hearted British woman who, unknown to her, is the niece of the governor. Through her, Bheem gets closer to the palace where Malli is held. Meanwhile, Raju is torn between duty and friendship. As he begins to suspect Bheem's true identity, his heart is conflicted. Capturing Bheem would fulfill his promise to the British and bring him closer to his secret mission. But betraying his friend feels like a deep personal loss. This emotional turmoil intensifies as both characters edge closer to the truth, walking paths that will ultimately collide in devastating ways. Act 6. The betrayal and public punishment. The turning point arrives when Raju is forced to expose Bheem during his daring attempt to rescue Malli. As Bheem is caught and publicly whipped in front of a crowd, Raju is made to deliver the punishment. This deeply emotional and disturbing scene becomes iconic. As Bheem is flogged, he refuses to kneel. Instead, he sings the defiant anthem Nada Natu, rallying the crowd to rise against tyranny. The song becomes a symbol of resistance. Raju, devastated internally, is seen crying behind his mask of duty. He punishes his brother to protect his greater mission, but at great personal cost. Act 7. Raju's true identity revealed. Bheem is sentenced to death. But before the execution, Raju reveals Raju's backstory, his undercover identity, his father's death, his plan to arm the people. Bheem is stunned. Now realizing the sacrifices Raju has made, Bheem is filled with guilt, respect, and a renewed sense of mission. He knows he must save Raju, who is now imprisoned and tortured for failing to deliver the weapons. The roles have reversed. It's Bheem's turn to rescue his brother. Act 8. The Great Escape and Transformation. In an explosive sequence, Bheem infiltrates the British camp, fights off soldiers, and rescues Raju. The action is breathtaking, full of raw power, fire, and fury. Now healed and reunited, Raju sheds his colonial uniform and dons the look of a true revolutionary. Dressed in traditional attire, bow in hand, echoing the legend of Lord Rama. Bheem, as the force of nature, becomes his Hanuman-like ally. Together, they become an unstoppable duo, combining fire and water, brains and brawn, strategy and instinct. Act 9. Final showdown. Rise, roar, revolt. Armed with passion and power, Bheem and Raju launch an all-out assault on the governor's palace. What follows is a cinematic spectacle of resistance. They defeat wave after wave of British troops, showcasing breathtaking stunts, fire-drenched visuals, and emotional highs. Raju finally fulfills his promise. He acquires a truckload of guns and distributes them to revolutionaries. Bheem rescues Malli and leads his tribe to safety. In a final symbolic act, they burn down the governor's estate, representing the collapse of colonial arrogance. Governor Scott, arrogant to the end, is executed as a message. India will not bow. Act 10. Resolution and legacy. The film ends with a celebratory montage, highlighting various Indian freedom fighters. Raju and Bheem, now national heroes, stand united, not just in friendship, but in purpose. They have inspired a generation to rise, roar, and revolt. That RRR is not just an action epic. It is a celebration of brotherhood, sacrifice, and national pride. It fuses Indian mythology, history, and emotion into a grand visual saga. With its powerful themes, historical fantasy, and heartfelt storytelling, RRR stands as a modern masterpiece that captures the spirit of freedom, unity, and resistance.